a piece of knowledge or information that you think that you know and understand, but it cannot be executed, is not fully digested. Again, if you think that you know something, oh, like I know for sure that I know this, or like, oh, like I know that this is gonna benefit me, but if you cannot execute it, if you cannot use it in your advantage, but it isn't yours to begin with. I feel like every single time I talk with someone else, or like every single time I try to have some kind of like do something else that's productive, I always had this thought in my head, like, I know for sure like this is gonna help me out. But at the end of the day, I see myself not doing it. I see myself never executing it and just like thinking about it over and over again. And when something just clicks with me, let's say like things that I actually understand, you don't even go through the process of thinking that, oh, I know this and I will do it. No, that's not how it happens. Like every single time I understand something, I just go and do it. And it's like so like it feels so subconscious, and it's done while I'm not fully being aware of it. Like I'm not fully being aware of me doing it. So like at the end, I see myself doing it. I things that like these activities are already done, and I just look at the result, and I get like proven. Like I prove to myself that I actually know. But things like, oh, like I know for sure if I sleep early, I'm gonna like have a really good day tomorrow. That already like that thought process already means that you don't fully understand how good it is. Like for me, especially, every single time, let's say, like for me, it's been usually sleep schedule or sometimes even diet. It's been kind of bugging me. I used to be very disciplined when it comes to diet. Like I didn't even look at the snacks, or I could cut sugar. But when time, as time, how do I say, like I couldn't do it as consistent as I should have. So I've been kind of indulging myself lately, and I know for sure, like every single time, I'm trying to be aware when I see myself thinking about, okay, I will do it, or I will whatever. Then I immediately kind of try to like write it down somewhere on my note, and let myself being aware that I do not fully know this, and I have to kind of work on it instead of keeping this illusion, like the illusion that I know about this. And I feel like this is so common, especially when we are talking, in colloquial phrases. We just tend to, especially if someone's close to you, like they just say shit, and like they don't really get corrected, they don't really get called out, because it's like, okay, like we are close friends, like like we don't really care about like whether it's fact or not. Like it's all about social connection, and how the room goes, how the vibe is going. We don't really care whether like he's telling the truth or not. And sometimes we do, but it's really hard to like say it out loud. And this thing happened to me like earlier today. I was talking with my parents about like the reasons why I have like so many pimples. Like we were talking about that this matter, and I, like obviously like through Google I provide some evidence and proofs, and I realized how less I knew when it comes to the things that I thought I knew. Like for example, I couldn't quite explain without searching things, like how muscle works, or how hypertrophy works, or how protein, I whey isolate is different than conventional proteins or plant-based proteins. Things that I thought I knew, when this knowledge is being challenged, I just couldn't say it out loud. I just couldn't explain them. Like obviously, kinda, because I'm not an expert in this. I just did some research on my own and watched some things, but the average people really don't care about. So like again, and usually when I'm afraid of being challenged, I think that's a really big signal that you do not actually know about that thing. I felt this so many times when I was studying, when I feel like, okay, I know for sure, like I understand this perfectly now, but when I feel when I try to make some quizzes to myself, I can feel that inside of me, like I do not want it. Like I feel like, oh, let's just skip this part. I 100% understood this. And that's like the signal that you have to listen to. You do not know that. You do not know shit about that yet. What you have to do is you should practice and you should question yourself and you should like do enough of research so that at the end that you can kind of express yourself with your own words. I think that's like the 네, 네. 아니요, 저는 닭가슴살 먹어요. 치킨 시켰어요. All right. Very unfortunate, but I guess I gotta go. Listen to the signals, listen to the actual signals, the things that your inside you tells you, but you do not actually know the things that you think that you know. That's about it in this video. I had to cut it short. I gotta go.